Beautiful bridge of the Silvery Tay. Alas, I am very sorry to say that 90 lives have been taken away on the last Sabbath day of 1879. Which will be remembered for a very long time. You at least as good poets as William McGonagall!
Good morning from Edinburgh.
It's not morning, it's afternoon.
Shut
Come
up!
on.
It's my vlog. They will not know it
No,
anyway.
it's afternoon.
Okay,
Bestie
so we're now
was in-
heading
was
to
in bed,
Edinburgh
At 10 a.m.
National
he's still on
Museum
bed,
of Scotland.
under the duvet.
Now, gonna see the
Toilet.
history,
In the bed.
and it's windy and cold.
This is the entrance.
Okay, let's go inside, guys. Now we're heading to this gallery full of bones. Gallery of the natural world. Look at this antler, guys. It's so huge. Wow. We're here. Wow, this is a real T-Rex, guys. Look. Wow. Mammals, African elephant, the camels. It's so huge, guys. Look at this. Bolong, ikaw ba yan? Feeding. Whoa. Rhino. This is what? A Triceratops. Look. Elephant tusk. Amazing.
With like, they don't look like in your pictures.
We're now inside the museum. We're just waiting for the others, and we'll join a tour. And it's beautiful here, guys. There's a lot to see. Like, there are bones of dinosaurs, whales, other artifacts. There's a mummy from Egypt. What else? We're now at the Fashion and Arts Gallery. So naka-display yung mga dresses ng mga panahon. And ito yung kalimitang suot ng mga babae dito pag namamalengke sila. We're now at the rooftop of this museum, and we'll get to see how beautiful the sunset is. Here it is, guys. We're now waiting for the others to start the tour of the Potter Trail. So, trying to blend in with our cap and black jacket. Here at Greyfriars, center of Newtown. We'll have a tour later, so we'll show you the city.
So, hello, welcome to the Potter Trail. Are you excited?
Yes!
Happy New Year if it's not too late to keep saying that. I feel like it's still appropriate. And we are going on a magical journey together. So thank you for choosing the Potter Trail, because we are the original Potter tour in the city. The first one to start up 11, 12 years ago. And it was started by a group of friends with a shared passion, all involved in the creative arts in the city. And that's how we still run it. We're a group of friends, we're all performers and artists. And we all want to show off our beautiful city and give people a magical time, basically. Share the joy of Harry Potter and the Wizard world. So the tour lasts roughly an hour and a half, depending the pace we're able to go. And we end up a few minutes walk in that direction on a street that inspired a certain shopping street in the Wizarding world. Ooh, yeah, that deserves an ooh. But loads to see along the way. And do feel free to ask questions at any point. I'm an Edinburgh local, born and raised, so feel free to ask about Edinburgh as well as wizardy stuff. But also you will have noticed this is a free tour. And just to say that we keep it free because we do want to keep that ethos. of being able to share it with everyone with no obstacles to enjoying it. We don't think that coming along is fair, depending on how much you've got in your pocket when you're travelling. But to make our living, what we do is come to you at the end of the tour. To give
So we're joining a free tour. Pag nandito kayo sa Edinburgh, free lang to. Pero you can also give tips. So the start of the tour, dito sa graveyard nila. This is the Edinburgh Cemetery. But look.
the one thing, Willow. So welcome to Greyfriars Kirkyard. This is a very special place, a historic site that hasn't been used as a burial site for well over a century. So it's treated like a park now, so you don't have to worry about where you put your feet. Just to reassure you, although we will stick to the paths. But it's a hotspot. The video is exactly what we need. Where did that come from? Do you know what your house is? Hufflepuff is on the scoreboard, everyone! We're having a friendly house points competition, as we know now. Who else belongs to Team Hufflepuff here? There you go, there are your people. You're now the unofficial head premier.
I belong there. Sorry, guys.
Where are our Gryffindors? Any Team Gryffindors here?
Team Gryffindors.
Gryffindors. Hello. There's your team. Any Ravenclaws? Hello, Ravenclaws.
We're Ravenclaws.
Quite a big team. And our Slytherins. Hello, Slytherin. I can't hear. People will slowly often Slytherins are volunteered by other people. Yeah, you're a Slytherin, yeah. I think there are more out there. We'll find out. We'll find you more teammates. Created than anywhere else. It's the back of a cafe called the Elephant House Cafe, where JK sat and wrote in the window facing this way. So her window is just below the flat rooftop in front. We can't quite see it, but I want you to see it from this angle to get an idea of the view that she had. We will see it from another angle, that cafe. It's a very important landmark.
So this is the place where J.K. Rowling got the inspiration to wrote the Harry Potter's sequels. Oh, this guy's
Please and respect.
Potted wall.
This is the Flodden Wall, the only remaining piece of the medieval city walls of Edinburgh. When it was enclosed within walls to keep it safe from invasion. The walls were 3 times as high as this. This is the only bit that remains. So when we step through the arch, which we will do in a couple of minutes, we'll be stepping outside Old Edinburgh. Transported forward in time, actually, but we've just gone back because we have writing him. And very importantly, she dreamt a lot of the main characters, Harry, Hermione and Ron, as this group of best friends. But the idea that this would be a series of books, one to cover each year he goes to school. So 7 books in total. Huge idea to arrive out of absolutely nowhere. So as soon as she got home that day, she'd started putting pen to paper. And she didn't stop for several years, filling notebooks, researching, making notes, laying down the foundation work for actually writing. And a lot of that work was done in Portugal. She moved to the lovely city of Porto. Has anyone been there out of interest? I would love to visit. It sounds lovely. And you've got lots of inspirations for Harry Potter there. Bookshop, the students' robes that they wear. But then she had her baby and she wanted to come back to the UK to be near her family. And she came to Edinburgh because it's where her sister was living. Because she's not Scottish. It's her adopted home only. And because she never left. She came for Christmas, never left. Because she fell in love with it. I mean, I think it's not hard to see why. But I appreciate I might be biased. Use your attention over this way. Walk around, I can close it out. You know what? Hands up. First person to identify the familiar name over here gets 10 health points because it's a bit of an obscure one. And what can you see? Well, James, we saw James up there as well, didn't we? You're quite right. James is an important name in the book. It's Harry's father. He's called James, and it's Harry's middle name. The only problem with James and other first names that we see is that they're quite common. Particularly James. We had 6 kings called James here in Scotland. It's probably one of the most common names. So we can't say she definitely used it from here. She might have done. You might be absolutely right, because she will have written it in her notebook. So she might have flipped through and decided, oh, I like that, I'll use that. But we're looking for more unusual surnames. What do you see? Screen. Literally frozen in fear. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Here lies Thomas Riddle. What are we waiting for? We need our Expelliarmus. 3, 2, 1, Expelliarmus. Thank you, just in time. And now we can approach more safe singing. Look at this. Actually, not 1 but 2 Thomas Riddles. And picture the tombstone in Little Hangleton. It has generations of father and son. As you know, whose father and grandfather, they're all Riddles going down this generation of a wealthy, powerful family. The Riddle we know deliberately changes his own name to distance himself from his Muggle family, who he despises. We'll come back to that name. But these are real people, of course. No one cares about this part of the family. They don't clean that bit up. But you can still visit property where this Edinburgh family lived at Riddle's Courtyard. It's true, isn't it? Riddle's Courtyard is up towards Edinburgh Castle, off to the left off the Lawn Market. Look out for Riddle's Court above an archway and Riddle's Close on the pavement in front, because it's worth a look. And there you see the Riddle family spell their name 2 different ways. We've got the alternative spelling here again, Riddell. There you see it spelled Riddle, which we're more familiar with. And of course she used that spelling because his very name is a riddle, a puzzle you have to solve. Hands up for 10 points. Who knows his middle name, please? Oh, I'll come to someone different. Yes. Oh, you're so close. Marvolo. Near as it. 10 points for. Oh, I was trying to spread the points around because I don't even know how to.
What team are you?
We're leading.
Hufflepuff kind of day. I'm loving it. Marvolo. As in Professor Minerva McGonagall, teacher of transfiguration who can turn herself into a cat. What a woman. Unlike those other names, this isn't just a random name. William McGonagall here is famous in his own right. They call him poet and tragedian up there. Bit of a lofty title. He's best known as the worst poet in the world. Ever. Yeah. Although he's a folk hero here in Scotland because we love a failure. The losers, the underdogs, yeah. Oh, that's deep in our psyche. That's why we've got a national football team. And he embodies the idea beautifully because he always believed he would be successful and famous and loved if he just kept on with it, even though his poetry was rubbish. Clunky rhymes, it didn't scan, bad choice of subjects. People would turn up to his poetry readings to make fun of him and throw rotten fruit at him. And he died penniless, was buried in an unmarked grave here, which is why it says buried near this spot in 1902. So beautifully vague, because we don't know exactly where he is. But he's got a plaque. That tells you something, doesn't it? He's now hugely loved and successful and famous, just like he always wanted. Because his story's so interesting, he comes across like an eternal optimist and an eccentric. We love both those things. And because his poetry is so enjoyably terrible. It's so bad it's good. Would you like to hear a bit? Yeah, sure. Right, I will give you the first few lines only from a poem about a railway crash. Oh, great start, isn't it? What everyone wants poetry about. Okay. But, because it's a potted tour, I have to do something to liven it up. I will recite it in the style of Professor Horace Slughorn.
Beautiful bridge of the Silvery Tay, Alas, I am very sorry to say that 90 lives have been taken away on the last Sabbath day of 1879, which will be remembered for a very long time. You enlisted good poets as William McGonagall!
Were kept in it, were exposed to the elements over a harsh winter. This was in the mid-1600s, a kind of bleak part of Scottish history. Very complicated to do with politics and religion, like most bleak parts of history, I suppose. So the person responsible for what happened to them for giving orders is over there, that little domed building with the novel on top, which is called the Black Mausoleum. And that is where the most famous ghost of this graveyard lives. Let's see if we can meet it. But also the world of Harry Potter is full of ghosts. You've got the one that hangs about in the toilets. I heard you saying she's my favourite, Moaning Myrtle. She's a lot of fun. But there's even a poltergeist at Hogwarts. Does anyone remember the name of the poltergeist? Peeves. Well done. 10 points for it? Hufflepuff. Of course. Peeves the poltergeist. Does everyone remember him? He gets cut out in the films. So you'll only remember him if you've read the books. A lovely British comedy actor, Rick Mail, was Dumbledore. Well, Harry, I suppose, is the most famous, but Dumbledore has it for a long time, uses it a lot. I think we'll go with Dumbledore. 10 points for Gryffindor. Well done. So there is a whole mythology around woods and their different properties, and all of that research went into the books, all those different woods you can find, and of course the core at the middle of the wand, which also changes its property and means it can only be used by certain people, which is why the wand has to choose the owner. Does anyone know the woods that Harry and Voldemort's wands are made out of? You know who. Sorry, I said it. Because they've got the same core, the phoenix feather in the middle. Exactly right. 10 points for Gryffindor. But they're different woods, even though they've got the same core. You can't be in Rainfriars Kirkyard and not talk about Bobby. This little dog here, a little Skye Terrier, who's probably the most beloved kind of public figure in Edinburgh, historical figure. He goes back to the mid.
How's the tour so far?
What?
How's the tour?
Inspiring. It's magical. It's magical.
Big fan, eh?
I'm a huge fan.
There's vaults, interesting varied history to it. There are fascinating underground Edinburgh tours you can take. Has anyone been on one? Done the vaults tours or Real Mary King's Close? Yeah, would you recommend?
Yeah, very good.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Really good.
Good.
So yeah, definitely some secrets there. Hopefully no basilisks that you might encounter. But I always like to point out the National Museum of Scotland, which is here on Chambers Street, because it's a fantastic resource and it's free. You can go in and find all kinds of interesting things. But it's also suitably grand surroundings to talk about the whole journey of the writing process. Now, we talked about how it began back in 1990, the idea, 1993 when she arrived in Edinburgh, using cafes to write in. So the Elephant House Cafe, the front of it is just that way. We'll pass it later on. But she didn't write the first book there because it hadn't opened. They've got a sign above their door that says birthplace of Harry Potter. It's not strictly true because it didn't open until 1995. She'd already written all of Philosopher's Stone by that point. The cafe where she wrote book one when she first arrived is down the end of Chambers Street and to your right, on a street called Nicholson Street, just literally round the corner. We don't go down there because it's no longer there, so there's not much to look at. But at the time it was called Nicholson's Cafe, and it was owned by J.K. Rowling's brother-in-law, Roger. And he was quite happy for her to hang out there. She didn't have to buy cups of coffee to justify having a table. She probably got free cuppers because she was fat.
That's cute.
Wow.
Cos'è proprio la Sirona così lo salta? No, cosa forse
Here. So
Everybody's upstairs.
Lucas, me espera, Lucas. Olha as teias, Lucas. Por que eles têm ricos?
It's just open. It's locked.
Por que eles me espera?
So we're not done with the coldness of Scotland. Gusto pa nila mag-ice skating. Totoo ba? And it's -1 degrees Celsius. Ang lamig-lamig na guys. Although hindi nag-snow, pero napakalamig niya.
Now go! Bess, what are you doing? How again? Do it, Bess, how?
Then, one, feet to the right, shoulder and ball, shoulder one, three. That's amazing.
Just step. I mean, lift your legs a bit and step like normal step. It is. Say hi.
Where's Ahmad?
There.